All right. Good evening or good morning, wherever you are. My name is Jerome, and this is Psycho Silver. I'm pleased that you've put on my channel. I do hope that today you're counting your wealth in ounces and that you're holding your word to yourself, especially. I have a demonstration for us this evening. I'm going to demonstrate the dollar milkshake theory. Recently, I did do a demonstration about how this worked. And I was very disappointed because I did the demonstration and I left important things out. And I wish that I had phrased things differently. I said, I'm going to have another go at this and I'm going to do much better this time. And I'm going to make it a standalone video for people to watch because I have looked around YouTube and I got to say, I'm a little disappointed with the content out there that tries to explain this thing. I've heard so many people talk about the dollar milkshake theory recently. And very importantly, it appears that it's not even a theory anymore. This is confirmed. The dollar milkshake theory is real. It's happening all over. So the history on the dollar milkshake theory is, as far back as I can remember, it started from a gentleman named Brent Johnson. And Brent Johnson came up with this theory. I saw the first time I heard it, he was debating Peter Schiff. And I love Peter Schiff and I love Robert Kiyosaki. They're two guys that were calling for a dollar crash since many years ago. And in a debate, I saw Brent Johnson say, hey, time out. There will be a dollar crash, but it's not going to happen the way you think that it is. First, the value of the dollar is going to go sky high to an astonishing level. And then it crashes. But when we see the dollar reach a crazy height, it's going to cause chaos all over the world. And we don't know what happens when that happens. So I thought this was a really interesting theory. And it appeared as though that it wasn't playing out that way. But in the end, we saw the dollar go down and then it popped back up. And now it's already near like all-time highs. It's at a crazy height, at least recent all-time highs. So with the weakening of currencies around the world, we see the pound crashing, we see the yen struggling, all these currencies at all-time lows. Well, at the same time, the dollar is getting stronger. So it appears as the theory is confirmed. So I'm going to explain to you how this works. Let me get a drink here. We're going to go to a whiteboard here, and I think I can do a good job of explaining it just on a whiteboard. If you don't like my explanation, or you think I can improve upon it in any way, please leave me a comment. I love getting feedback and I want to make this channel to serve an audience. And the better the feedback I get, the better I can improve myself and really just deliver value to anyone watching this. So let's get into the presentation here. And I'm just going to be way in the corner so I don't take up space here. What we're going to do here is we're going to take a circle, and this, already messed up. Okay, so we're going to take a circle here. We'll make it an oval because we need the space. No, we'll make it a circle. I lied. We'll take this circle, and this represents the dollar, okay? And then we're going to take a pentagon, and this is going to represent, that represents Japan. And now we're going to take a rectangle. And this is going to represent the UK. And we're going to take, what shape haven't we used? We will take a triangle. And this is going to represent a currency exchange. Forex, I suppose. Okay. Now, we do understand that the dollar is the world reserve currency, that much debt around the world is carried in dollars. Even in these other countries, in our example here, once again, in our example here, we're using the UK as an example, and we are using, this is Japan. And coincidentally, they are two of the largest holders of American debt. So they're both their currencies are crashing and they're huge holders of American debt. Because the debt is being carried in dollars, we're going to draw it like this. Dollar debt in both of these countries here. Okay? And with this dollar debt, it's green because it's in dollars, okay? Much of that debt has been created at near zero interest. Those are the interest rates that we hear about from the Fed. The Fed sets their funds rate, it creates a ripple effect, and it decides interest or no interest or how much interest is there going to be in debt created around the world that you borrow from banks, right? So we're going to do this in red here. And what's happening is at zero interest, the amount that is owed is basically the same as the original loan, right? It might be a little tiny bit of interest or even zero interest. So these circles are about the same. And we're going to take this up here and we're going to switch to our brush here. And we're going to say this red means zero interest debt. And the thing about zero interest debt is it's easy to pay back. It creates a small amount of demand for dollars. I don't want to get super off into the weeds here, but because money is created through loans, it does create some demand for dollars, okay? But not much. At least not in terms of where we're going. Okay. And now, let's say we had a change. We had a change in the interest and also new debt being created at a higher interest rate. So what happens is now this dollar-based debt at a higher interest is bigger than the loan itself, right? Your interest is the loan back plus the interest rate that you owe them. So this is bigger. And already with a higher interest rate, what's going to happen is, well, first there'll be more defaults or more risk, right? In paying back the debt. But more importantly, is it creates demands for dollar. So what happens with these nations do is they since they need dollars to pay back their loans, they're going to go over here to the exchange. They're going to go to the foreign exchange and they're going to take their yen or their pound and they're going to put it up for sale at the exchange and they're going to bring back dollars to service that debt. And what that does there is that because there's demand for the dollar, now the dollar strengthens. Dollar gets stronger. And vice versa, because they're giving up pounds, they're trading their pounds and they're trading their yen for the dollar gets stronger and your pounds get weaker. Yen gets weak. It's supply and demand, right? Of course. So already with this increase in interest rates, we've already strengthened the dollar somewhat. and we've lowered the value of these national, because they're being sold on the foreign exchange. We've lowered the value of the yen, of the pound, and quite possibly on the same debt or even new debt, the rates go up again. The rates go up again. This time, you know, that circle's bigger. And you have the same effect going on. It's the same effect. But you've already altered the relationship between the yen and the dollar the first time rates went up and you struggled to find dollars. So now you might owe the same payment to service that debt, but the rate of exchange has already changed. Does that make sense to you? The dollar's already gotten stronger and the yen's already gotten weaker, but you still got to keep servicing that debt, and so the relationship has changed. And so we come over here again, and once again creates demand. Oh, I'm erasing my. Further weakens local currency. Okay, but here's where it really starts to get out of hand, though. So you've already traded. This is collectively, okay. So we're talking about a market of a lot of people possibly acting individually, but this is the net effect. Because they're working so hard to get a hold of dollars, they might not have like liquidity that they need, and so the UK and the Japan, they're gonna need to issue more currency to be able to buy dollars, right? And what does that mean? They need to sell something to get their hands on more dollars. So this box gets bigger here. This is inflation. They've increased their money supply to go and get some dollars. And that is the dollar milkshake. And so in the end, you have this runaway, and then again, like after that round, you've changed the dynamic again. So the whole time, the yen's getting weaker, the pound's getting weaker, the dollar's getting stronger, but you got to go and do it again and again and again. And the whole reason that it got the name, the dollar milkshake theory, is because what happens in the end is the dollars are coming at, oh, excuse me. Dollar. This is the foreign exchange. Dollars going out. And then the local currency, the pound or the yen, is going in. And in the end, that's the straw of the milkshake. And that's why it's called the milkshake theory. The straw is the interest being collected upon and sucking the dollars out of these economies, and they desperately need them. And at a certain point, what is the end game? I believe the end game is it's massive default. And I'm sure that this mass default is going to start wherever the economy is the weakest, wherever it's the toughest to get a hold of dollars, or who's ever having a really tough time generating income and revenue. But it also just might be or whatever nation that keeps printing currency to obtain dollars, and causing inflation, and the citizens they had enough, and you get an uprising or a lot of protests. So without getting too far off, I want to add a lot more to this, but this is 15 minutes and I do think that I've sufficiently explained it. Please tell me what you think. Tell me how I can make this better if I can. I think it's pretty good. I do appreciate you for watching my video, and I hope that I did serve you in the creation of this. And I wish you a good night or a good day wherever you are. Thank you very much. Goodbye.